Hey everybody, this is Dave Bensman, Bensman Home Computer Repair, and today in this video I'd like to discuss what you can do with the Ease of Access Center to make your computer easier to use if you have any kind of physical limitations. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to left click on this Windows Start button here, lower left corner of the screen. We're going to click on the little Windows System Setting cog right here, and we're going to left click on the Ease of Access Center. And right here, these are all things you can do to make your computer a little easier to use. Here it says change the size of apps and text on the main display. So right here it's 100%. If I left click on the drop down box, I can select any of those things right there, and that'll increase the size of the icons. I can change the size of apps and text on other displays if I'm using more than one display. And I can change the size and color of my cursor and mouse pointer. So I can click right there, and so that's the basic size, that's the large size. And that's very helpful. I can also increase the size of my cursor if I move that slider all the way to the right and open WordPad. As you can see, that cursor is nice and chunky, and if I've got some sort of visual impairment, it's easier for me to see. Let's move that back. This is if you're using some sort of a touch screen, you can make changes to, like right here it says, make visual feedback for touch points darker and larger. So it'll make it easier to see where you're supposed to touch on the touch screen. Then if we go to here, there's a magnifier that you can turn on. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on magnifier here with our left mouse button, click on turn on, and if I move the cursor to the edge of the screen, then you can see that it is easier, to see, and you can change the magnification level quite a bit to be able to see whatever you want to see. So that's pretty helpful. Let's turn the magnifier off. There we go. You can change the zoom levels and all that kind of stuff. There's also a high contrast setting. So if you left click where it says high contrast, if I were to click on that, everything would go kind of, the background would go kind of black, and a lot of the writing would be thicker and white. So it'd be easier to see that. And then there's also a narrator. If you turn the narrator on, whatever you do, it'll announce to you. So if you have some sort of visual impairment, that can also be helpful. If you go to audio right here, you can make it easier to hear by increasing the volume, and you can even run closed captions, and those captions will look like that, and that's where you would set that up. All of these settings can be reversed. If it turns out you don't like something, you can then just go in there and just deselect it, just reverse whatever you set up, and it'll go back to whatever it is if it happens you don't like it. Another thing you can do is Cortana. You can set up Cortana. So if I go to the system settings, which is again, you left click on the Windows Start button and then left click once on the cog, and then I left click on Cortana, and then I turn Cortana on by selecting that button right there. Now it's off. Now it's on. Now I can talk with Cortana, and Cortana will do a lot of helpful things. It just... Hey Cortana, when is Smallfoot playing at the Bartlett 10 Cinema?
Okay, Smallfoot is playing at Bartlett Cinema at 4:20 p.m. and 7:10.
So you see there, Cortana heard me say her name, and she opened up and asked me a question, what I wanted, and all I had to do was tell her. And that's really nice. If you have some sort of mobility issue with your hands, that could be very helpful. So I could say, for instance, hey Cortana, open WordPad.
Okay, starting WordPad.
If you have a Microsoft account, you can have Cortana do a lot more for you. If I were signed in under a Microsoft account on my operating system, I could have it play music from my collection, and it can be fairly useful if you've got some sort of a mobility issue. So that's something to keep in mind. I hope everybody found my video to be helpful, and if so, please like and share it, and please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any need of computer repair in the Bartlett, Memphis, Collierville, Germantown, Millington area, please feel free to give me a ring at David Bensman at Bensman Home Computer Repair at 901-830-4362. And as always, stay safe.